want to stop merely surviving and start thriving and living and creating your life instead, if you want to know how to do that, then keep watching this video. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Hetty, and on this channel we discuss all things positive, high vibe, and how to use the law of attraction to manifest the life of your dreams. If you haven't already, then hit that subscribe button for me, just to make sure you don't miss any more positive content like this. We're going to get straight into today's video. So today's video is how to stop merely surviving and just living your life day by day doing the same things, and to start thriving instead and create your own reality, to decide what you want and how you want to live life on your terms. So I think a lot of us, a lot of the time, are just surviving in our lives. We don't necessarily have any goals or plans or aspirations, and even if we do, they get put on hold for years. We end up sort of pushing them back, and they always seem like they're in a future too distant for us to even reach, too unachievable for us to even obtain, too unrealistic for where we are currently in life. And I want to show you with this video today that you can actually start achieving every single thing that you want. You can start thriving and working towards your goals. You can manifest anything you want in your life. Literally anything. It is so easy once you understand how to actually do that, how to embrace that change, and how to actually start being and living your perfect life, being your best self, doing what you want to do. So when we live in survival mode, it is very much, if you think back to the days of when we were cavemen and we needed this survival mode, we had that our biology was developed to have a fight or flight kind of system. So we would run if we had any kind of threat, if a saber-toothed tiger was chasing us, or we would fight if one of our opponents wanted to challenge us for the top spot in tribe. All these different things, we needed to have that biological system that enabled our survival, enabled us to pass on our genes and continue to live successfully. But obviously a lot of things have developed since then, and we aren't really being chased by lions and tigers anymore. We aren't living in this survival mode that would actually help us to survive and stay alive. We are instead living in survival mode just for the mere day by day activities and things that we do. So a lot of anxiety and survival comes from social anxiety, so how we feel like we should behave, and we feel like we're conditioned into this anxiety. So instead of just having these biological and chemical responses of heightened adrenaline when we need to flee somewhere, and it is literally split-second decisions of fight or flight, we are living in a constant state of increased adrenaline, increased stress levels, and instead of where we used to have these moments and short periods of time of high levels of adrenaline and stress levels, we actually now have those for extended periods, so they don't just switch off when the threat has gone. We continue to live in those states, so we just get used to it, and it raises our levels of anxiety. We're used to living at a higher anxious level. We're used to just surviving and going day by day, because when we have these different chemicals running around our body, then it gets us used to living in very sort of quick, what's going on. You have narrow points of focus, narrow vision, and you might not necessarily notice it because you've been in that state for so long, but you are unable to relax. You are overthinking all the time. Your mind never stops worrying. You're constantly thinking about the future and what you can do next, or worrying about how the past is going to affect your life in the future. So you're constantly living in a state of survival, of solving problems, logical thinking, how to get over the next thing, do the next thing, go, 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 go. And it's great to have ambition and drive, but it's great to have these bursts in short-term periods, because when we do these for long-term periods, it actually does affect our physical health as well. Our bodies weren't built to have high levels of like adrenaline and cortisol rushing through our veins at every moment of the day. When we're sat at our desk, not actually physically feeling like we have to flee, we get an angry email from our boss or a co-worker, and it puts us into that survival state. So how do we get out of that survival state and start thriving instead, and stop living on such high levels of stress, cortisol, adrenaline, dopamine, all these different things that should be there to help us and give us those boosts of energy, but only in the times where we actually need it. So when we are in lower levels of adrenaline, we have more creative flow, we are calm, we're relaxed, we're able to make better, clearer, sort of long-term decisions instead of having to say yes or no very quickly to decide there on the spot. We're able to have this creative flow and energy. We have different states of brain waves, so there is different types of brain waves, and we move into sort of that slower, more synchronized brain pattern where we can sync up with the universe, sync up with energies around us. And because the law of attraction states like attracts like, when we are then giving off those vibrational frequencies, it's all about our brain waves, our vibrational pattern, we attract things that are on those same levels as well. So the calmer we are, the more focused we're able to be, and the more able we're then to attract things that are on that same wavelength and level, and start creating and changing our reality instead of merely just surviving and going by the day to day and working that 9 to 5 and living for the weekends and just thinking after 10 years, oh my God, is that all I've done for the past 10 years? I really want to do this instead, and this is my passion, and this is where I want to go. I want to change, and I want to be this person instead, but I just seem so stuck. So, how do we actually start thriving? Now, I have 3 tips for you. The 3 tips that I follow, and I've noticed such a change in my life over the past years by just really starting to ingrain these into my daily thought patterns, beliefs, behaviors, to start creating my reality as I want. Now, over the past year, I've been learning about the law of attraction, and the more and more I learn about it, the easier it is to create my own reality. I will literally think of something or say something to someone, and a day or 2 later, or even within the same hour, I get that response back. This has happened with jobs, this has happened with relationships, this has happened with health kicks that I've wanted to get on, or just food things I want to buy, or if I fancy like a takeaway, if I say it or think about it, then all of a sudden someone's saying to me, should we get a pizza tonight? And I'm like, I had that thought this morning, I haven't fancied a pizza for ages. So it's with the bigger things in life, like your job, your relationships, your house, and it can also work for the smaller things in life. So if you just fancy a bit of chocolate, you know, you have a thought, someone happens to buy that for you as a surprise the same day. So I say bigger and smaller things because it's only our perception of those that make them seem big or small. Everything to the universe that you want to manifest is actually on the same level. So first and foremost, before we start this video, take everything that you want to manifest off that pedestal, see it as easily achievable for you. If you need to see that dream job that you want the same as you just want to manifest that takeaway, put it on the same level as that, reduce the level of importance, and that will actually help you to begin to manifest. So the 3 simple and easy tips that you need to follow to start thriving instead of surviving in life. First and foremost, accept where you are, accept the now, accept this very moment right now where you are, and that you don't need to change anything in your life in order to get what you want. The only thing you need to do is be your true self, and start to live and accept the now and accept the unknown. Part of that is living in the moment, accepting the unknown, because if we don't accept the unknown and the uncertain for the future, it means we are living in the past, and by living in the past, we continue to recreate the past in our future over and over again. So we have to be comfortable with accepting the now, accepting the unknown, and not knowing what's going to come next. When I find myself in states of, oh, what's going to happen in the future, and worrying and start to get concerned or thinking, is the same thing in the past going to happen again? I say to myself, if I know what's coming, I don't want it. If I can predict it, I don't want it to happen, because then I'm not going to be in for a surprise. It's not going to have changed. It's going to be something in my past that is recreated. Now, there's obviously things in your past that you might be happy to happen again. You know, you might want to have a positive experience again. That's totally fine. But if we are trying and thinking and overanalyzing too much what is going to happen for an outcome of a situation, we're continuing to live in the known, and that will just recreate where we've been in this survival mode of life. So accept the unknown, go into it, tell yourself, just for a week if you need to, I'm just going to not plan ahead. I don't plan ahead. Obviously certain things you do, but I try not to go into the nitty gritty of planning those ahead. I'm like, right, I know I'm going to be there this weekend. I'll see who's around when I'm there, and then if they're free, they'll come. And when I do that, I end up seeing like 10 people because I haven't planned and been like, I'm going to see you at this time, I'm going to do this. And the better and more fun experiences come off it. So tell yourself for the next week, I'm going to accept the unknown. If I can picture it, I don't want it. Give me something totally surprising. I want this to happen in a positive way, but you figure out how to do it, universe. You tell me all the unknown details and make it the most fun for me possible. So the second tip is to embrace change. So that comes hand in hand with the first tip. You need to be able to embrace that change. If you cannot embrace change, you will continue to live in the past. So embrace the change of life. Embrace that things can progress and develop, and that things don't always have to happen in the way that you particularly expect them to happen. They don't have to be like, if you want to meet your dream partner, it doesn't have to be that you have to go to the coffee shop one day, you bump into them at the coffee shop, they tell you that you're their soulmate and you looked into their eyes and that was it, you fell in love immediately, and it was this specific person and it was this and this and this. Embrace the change and allow the universe to decide the details for you. All you are here is the engine in which the universe can create and have these amazing experiences through. So see yourself as the decider of what you want. You can say, I would love to have the most fun, amazing, magical relationship, but I don't want to know how it's going to come about. I'm going to embrace the change from my past relationships. I'm not going to try and control this and plan this. So give up the control, give up that fear, and embrace the change, and you will start to see the change and start thriving in life instead. Now, the third and final tip is to stop expecting the worst and start expecting the best. So I try and live by the motto of, I don't have expectations of anyone. If we don't have expectations of anyone, then we can never allow our emotional attachments to be controlled by them. If we expect someone to turn up somewhere on a certain time or act in a certain way with us, then if they don't act that way, our emotions can be triggered by that. So if they don't turn up at the right time, we can get angry or sad. So if you don't put these expectations on people, they don't energetically feel that pressure, and everyone can feel vibrational energy, even if you're 1,000 miles away and 2 meters away, whatever it is, everyone can feel that energy. So let go of your expectations in terms of having to pinpoint something onto someone, and instead of expecting the worst, and we always prepare ourselves for the worst case scenario, because if we prepare ourselves for the worst case scenario, then what will happen is anything less than that, we're still able to survive, because if anything less happens than that, we're still there. That's the worst thing. So if we can survive the worst case scenario, then that's it. We don't need to worry about anything else. But by doing that, you're conditioning your body, your mind into fear and anxiety about that. And all you're thinking of the outcome is the worst case scenario and the worst fear. And so you are conditioning your body to live in that state. Instead of expecting the best, say, this is the best possible outcome. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I want. I choose to focus my attention on the best thing possible, and to say, it'd be great if this person turned up at 12 o'clock today, if they called me back today, that would be brilliant. But I don't hold that expectation onto them. I just expect for myself that the best possible outcome will be great of that, whatever it is. So stop putting expectations on others, but allow yourself to live in the best possible scenarios instead of the worst possible scenarios. I saw something the other day was, if you're living in anxiety, if you're thinking about something before it's happened, then you're putting yourself through the stress of that twice. And what is the point of that? So choose to think about the best case scenarios. Instead, you'll raise your energy levels, your vibrational levels, your motivational levels, and the best case scenario then is more likely to come about for you. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know. Give me a like just to support my channel in growing here, so we can continue to spread the positive vibes and love. And until next time, have a brilliant week, everyone. I always support and appreciate your help here and you watching the channel. So thank you, and see you soon. Mwah!